Welcome to our channel, where we bring you the most amazing stories from around the world. In this video, we bring you story of a bishop installed a camera to find out who steals church arms. Bishop Charles, in an attempt to expose a thief who had been stealing from the church, installed a surveillance camera. An astonishing revelation occurred when he identified the thief. Bishop Charles had always been a respected and comforting figure for the people in his parish. However, a sense of unease started to overshadow his typically serene demeanor. When unexplained disappearances within the church began to occur, the thief was clever and elusive, managing to steal valuable items from the church without being detected. These repeated thefts instilled suspicion among the parishioners, eroding the harmony and trust within the community. Starting with a modest amount from the donation box, the thefts escalated to include precious candelabras, sacred scriptures, and priceless relics, making it impossible to ignore the transgressions. Determined to restore peace and security, Bishop Charles made the difficult decision to install a surveillance system in the church despite the conflict it presented with the sanctity of the holy place. Strategically positioned cameras monitored every area where valuables could be found. Unbeknownst to himself, plagued by the ongoing thefts, Charles began to question in his parishioners, searching for any sign of guilt in their eyes. During meetings and confessions, he scrutinized Mrs. O'Brien, who had a family history with the church and was absent during one of the thefts. Young Tom, a recent convert with a troubled past, and Mr. Matthews, the choir director with unrestricted access to the church at odd hours, also came under his suspicion. However, each interaction left Bishop Charles more puzzled and disheartened. In his pursuit of truth, he inadvertently fostered an environment of unease and distrust among the congregation. The once lively and open parishioners became wary and closed off, fracturing the community. Unaware of his dual role in the twisted tale, Charles delved deeper into the mystery that threatened to consume him. During late hours of the night, he reviewed hours of surveillance footage, searching for a phantom lurking amidst the shadows and light. In the midst of eerie nocturnal sounds, he spotted a figure cloaked in darkness, moving with uncanny grace and familiarity. Observing this figure, a bone-chilling unease crept up Charles' spine. There was a disturbing resemblance between himself and the intruder, as if he was staring into a murky mirror, reflecting his own actions. With each viewing, the realization grew more unsettling. Drenched in a cold sweat, Charles confronted his own reflection on the darkened screen of the monitor. The figure in the footage was not a mere lookalike. It was himself, committing acts that his conscious self would never condone. Questions flooded his mind. How was this possible? Was he losing his sanity? Was there a part of him acting out these dark deeds while he remained oblivious? He discovered that the thief he had been hunting was not an external intruder, but a tenant within his own body. He was both the hunted and the hunter, the accused and the accuser. His search for an external thief had led him to an internal conflict beyond his comprehension. As the chilling realization dawned upon him, Charles was overwhelmed with terror and disbelief. The figure lurking in the shadows was none other than himself, the beloved Bishop Charles. It was a resurgence of his childhood sleepwalking condition, causing him to knowingly commit thefts. As a child, Charles had a tendency to wander in his sleep, reenacting scenes from his dreams or aimlessly drifting. While these episodes had diminished over the years, they now resurfaced, driving him to commit acts that he would never consciously approve of. Consumed by guilt, Charles accepted the reality that he was the thief who had stolen from his own church, betraying the very parish he had vowed to protect. He understood that the path to redemption involved confession and seeking forgiveness from both God and his parish. Throughout the day, Charles prepared himself for the evening mass, carrying a heavy yet resolute heart. His confession would not absolve him of his actions, but it would mark the beginning of his journey toward redemption. As he approached the pulpit that evening, his heart pounded with apprehension. Burdened by the weight of his confession, the congregation, unaware of the profound revelation awaiting them, wore concerned expressions. Gathering his strength, Charles began to address them. His voice resonated through the sacred halls as he greeted them and admitted to straying from the righteous path, seeking forgiveness as a flawed man. The silence was palpable as he revealed his nocturnal deeds and confessed that the thief they had feared, the shadowy figure violating their sanctuary, was none other than himself. He did not shy away from the truth or evade responsibility. Charles explained his medical condition and the history of sleepwalking, expressing deep remorse for the actions his unconscious self had committed. This event became a turning point for the parish. Charles' confession triggered a wave of redemption, reminding them of the capacity for forgiveness, the power of truth and sincerity. United by their shared ordeal, the church community emerged from the crisis stronger, their faith restored, and their devotion to Bishop Charles and the church rekindled. Thank you for watching this amazing story. Join us next time for more fascinating stories from around the world. Don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel.